Today, we're being joined by Martin Stephan, CEO of Carbios, and this is part of our continuing series speaking with leaders of small and mid-sized businesses on their growth strategies, their businesses, and how they like to interact with partners and customers. And Martin, why don't you kick it off with us and tell us a little bit about Carbios and the markets you serve.
Yes, sure. Thank you, Paul, for the opportunity to discuss that. So Carbios is the first and only company to develop biological technologies for the end of life of plastics and fibers. So we have so far developed two technologies for polyesters. One to biodegrade PLA. So it's a technology which makes PLA, polylactic acid, fully biodegradable in natural condition. And the other technology is a technology to biorecycle PET, polyethylene terephthalate, both packaging and textile. And we break PET down to monomers to enter into a virtuous cycle of circular economy. So that's really an infinite process to recycle PET back into PET. So we have those two technologies for polyester. But our ambition is to continue to develop technologies for other polymers.
And can you talk a little bit about the markets that you serve? Because these materials can be used in so many applications.
Yes, today we serve mostly, as I said, polyester market, so PET and PLA. Let's focus a little bit on PET, which is probably much bigger than PLA. You know, PET is produced to approximately 70 million metric tons per year over the world. That's the global production. 1/3 of this production goes to packaging, bottles, of course, but not only bottles, trays, also food trays, shampoo containers, detergent containers. It's becoming a material of choice for more and more packaging because it is recyclable. So it's growing, it's gaining share against other polymers. But 2/3 of the output of PET goes to fibers, 2/3. So it's enormous. And 50% of the fibers in total are polyester. And when you see polyester on a garment, that's PET. 50% of the fibers, 20% is cotton, and the rest, it's all the rest. So name it. What is not cotton? That's what is not cotton and polyester. That's silk, wool, acrylics, polyamide. But it's a big chunk of the market. So we serve those two markets, packaging and textile, from both sides, from the post-consumer waste side and from the final product side, because our technology makes possible the circular economy with these products. So we make any kind of PET product from any kind of PET waste.
I mean, the markets you serve are enormous. And with all the attention, the consumer attention on sustainability, climate change, plastic waste, maybe you could talk just a little bit about where you see the impact of Carbios in terms of addressing some of these very large challenges.
Carbios is contributing to reducing plastics pollution, which is, as you rightly said, a major concern for the society overall, not only for the consumers, for the citizens, for the brand owners, for the NGOs, for the governments. It's becoming a global issue. So we need to tackle this global issue by a global action. So we do our part. We develop innovative technologies to contribute reducing plastics pollution, but everybody needs to do its part. So the brand owners, they contribute their part by making pledges to use more and more recycled material in their product, for example, in their packaging or in their garments. But the governments, they need to put in place better infrastructure for collection and sorting. The consumers, they need to be more, let's say, educated, and they need to drop their waste in a bin and not in nature. So it's a global issue which needs a global solution.
I mean, one of the questions we like to ask is, helping to frame the uniqueness of your company. And are there some key takeaways you like potential partners to know about Carbios?
Yes, we are a small company, but we are very ambitious. And we've been able so far to create partnerships with large companies, despite our size and despite our maturity, because we have demonstrated that we have a credible technology. We've been honored by the cover of Nature recently, the scientific journal. Last year, we made the cover of Nature, which never happened for a company our size. We've been able to partner with brand owners in the cosmetic and food and beverage industry like L'Oreal, Nestlé, PepsiCo, Suntory. We partner with Novozymes, the largest enzyme producer in the world. And we are currently building partnerships with PET producers, which potentially will be our transactional customers purchasing or being granted with our license. So because we are very flexible, we are able and very agile, we are able to build partnerships all along the value chain of any kind of value chain. So it could be plastics, could be packaging, often it's the same, or fibers. So we go from brand owners to plastics producers. And that's probably our uniqueness, a technological company, agile, very flexible, credible, and able to build partnerships all along the value chain, which makes the partnerships more efficient as well, because we've chosen to start with the brand owners to pool the market, to crystallize demand for our technology, demand for a technology able to make more recycled plastics available for brand owners. And then the rest will follow. The plastics producer, they will follow. The used plastics collector, they will follow. The governments, they will follow once they have understood that there is demand and there is a technology to do it.
Well, that's a very strong statement of uniqueness and the way you partner. And we think about collaboration often, between companies, but of course it happens between people. And I'm curious. I mean, you talked about a lot of very important brand owners and companies that you're in partnership with. What do you personally enjoy about it? What does it feel like to collaborate with these very large companies? And what does it mean to your teams?
Well, we have access to a lot of competencies and experience when we work with those large companies, because I said we are very ambitious, but we are also modest at the same time. So we know our limits. We don't know everything about everything. So we know that we have some weaknesses. We know that we don't have the financial resources to have access to certain technologies or equipment. So working with large companies enable us to share some data, some knowledge, and to have access to technologies or equipment which we could not access otherwise. And it also gives us the opportunity to discuss with the people having a global view, typically, which sometimes we can lose. Even if in Carbios management we have some experience having worked at large companies, large multinationals.
Mm. And overall, in a word, what do you hope to accomplish as the leader of Carbios?
Well, I really want to see our technology coming on the market because I'm convinced it's not the solution, but it is one of the solutions which will contribute to reducing plastics pollution in the world while continuing to use plastics, because plastics bring a lot of value to the society. So we just cannot drop plastics from our day-to-day life. It's just impossible. They bring too much value. So we need now to do what should have been done before, perhaps, is to develop solutions for the end of life of plastics, which have not been done so far. So by doing that, we'll enable the possibility to continue to use plastics, because everybody will know that there are solutions for the end of life of plastics.
Well, Martin, we're very excited for you and your success at Carbios. and your overall team. And thank you so much for sharing your insights about the company and the market with us today.
Thank you.